It's been way too long since I've made one of these videos. And apparently, I'm not the only one who noticed. Some time ago, I got an email from Andreas, the developer behind HACS integration called Annuals. He told me he's been following the channel since he's starting using Home Assistant, showed me also what he's built, and then very politely reminded me that I haven't made a video about new interesting HACS components in quite some time. And yes, he definitely was right. So I went back into HACS and started looking around once again. I installed a bunch of things, played with them, removed quite a lot of again, and eventually ended up with 4 that I actually wanted to keep talking about. And they are completely different. There's a really nice card for UniFi hardware, a tiny network integration that already found something on my network I couldn't identify, some very Apple-looking dashboard widgets, and finally Andreas Annuals integration, which I originally thought was basically just for birthdays. As always, links to everything I'm showing today are in the video description. And since every single one of these projects is somebody's work, being given to us for free, we are bringing back another little tradition today. If you find something useful, give the developer a star on GitHub repository. If there is a Buy Me Coffee button and you really love it, even better. But come on, a star costs you absolutely nothing. We'll see how many times I have to say that before the end of this video. Anyway, let's start with the first one. That one is UniFi Device Card. We'll be starting in a couple of seconds. If you are using UniFi together with Home Assistant, this first one is really easy to explain. It's called UniFi Device Card, and well, it gives you a card for your UniFi devices. Sometimes naming things doesn't have to be complicated. Installation is through HACS, where you can just find the repository, install it, and after the card becomes available in your dashboard editor, just add it. For my first one, I selected my USG Ultra. And one thing I immediately like here is that there really isn't much configuration to do. Select the device, choose few options or not, and you immediately get a very visual representation of what's happening with it. In my case, I did get a warning that some of the entities required or expected by the card were disabled. And that's actually very useful. Because instead of getting a half-empty card and then spending next 20 minutes trying to figure out what I've done wrong, it simply tells me what's missing. So I went back to the USG Ultra device in Home Assistant, enabled those entities, returned to the dashboard, and everything was there. Then I tried exactly the same thing with my USW Lite 16 PoE. And this is where I started liking the card a lot more. Because with the switch, you are not just looking at a pretty picture telling you that the device is online. I can click through individual ports and see connection speeds, PoE information, power consumption, and the other data Home Assistant is already getting from the UniFi integration. Nothing revolutionary is happening here. The information is already inside Home Assistant. This just makes it considerably nicer to look at and much quicker to understand. And because adding these cards almost takes no time, I got slightly carried away. I ended up creating an entire UniFi dashboard. On one side, I have my USG Ultra, USW Lite 16 port, USW Lite 8 PoE, and also one Flex Mini. That's one of each type of devices I have. On the other side, I've added some of my access points. U6 Mesh Pro, U6 Plus, and UK Ultra. And I really like how this looks. There is, however, one fairly obvious problem. These cards are big, and I have a lot of UniFi hardware. At the moment, I'm running 1 gateway, 4 switches, and 7 access points. 4 indoors and 3 outdoors. That's 12 devices. put 12 of these on my normal dashboard, and I won't have a smart home dashboard anymore. I'll have a UniFi dashboard with some Home Assistant hiding somewhere at the bottom of the page. So no, I wouldn't use them like that. But on dedicated network dashboard, like this one, absolutely. It gives me quick visual overview, I can jump into individual ports when I need to, and setting the whole thing up took almost no effort and time. Yeah, this one is definitely staying. And since it's staying, well, you know what happens next. If you try UniFi Device Card and like it, give the developer a star. You got a useful dashboard component for free. The least we can do is move one little GitHub number up by one. And here is mine. Now let's look at something much smaller, but kinda similar. This next one comes from Johnny B, and compared with the UniFi card, it's tiny. This one is called DHCP Monitor, and it does one very special thing. It keeps track of devices recently detected through Home Assistant's DHCP discovery. That's important because this is not a network scanner. It's not going to give you a nice inventory of everything currently connected to your network. Think of it more as what just appeared on my network rather than what's on my network right now. And actually, I like little integrations like this. They don't need their own dashboard, 12 configuration pages, and 40-minute tutorial. They do one thing, and they do it pretty well. Installation is through HACS, so I manually added the repository URL here. Although you don't need to do that, since you can use the button directly on the GitHub repository that makes adding it easier. And you'll find the link to the GitHub repository in the video description. After installing it, you need to restart Home Assistant before you can add that integration. I didn't record myself starting the Home Assistant while it restarted. I assume you can recreate that experience at home if you really want to, and you will need to. After the restart, go to the integrations, add integration, find DHCP Monitor, next, finish, and that's it. There really isn't anything else to do. Johnny also provides code to the proposed Markdown card in the GitHub repository. And you will need that if you want to see displayed data on your dashboard. So I copied his Markdown code, added the standard Markdown card to the dashboard, pasted it, and initially there wasn't much to look at, which makes sense. It needs to see something first. So I left it running for a while. And now I have 3 devices. One is my UniFi router, the other one is SwitchBot water leak sensor, and the third one is... yeah. I have absolutely no idea what that is. And that might be the best demonstration of why I kept this integration installed. It's not trying to replace UniFi. It's not doing network monitoring. It's simply giving me another little piece of information that Home Assistant already sees, but that I normally wouldn't pay much attention to. And apparently, I have some digging to do also. Before I disappear down the rabbit hole, Johnny gets a star. If DHCP Monitor ends up being useful to you, please do the same. And if you really like somebody's work and they give you a way to buy them a coffee, that's even better. But we are setting the minimum bar extremely low here. You clicked installed, you liked it, click star, done, and time to move to next one. Now let's completely change direction. Cupertino Widgets. And yes, if the name didn't already give it away, these are very heavily inspired by the kind of widgets you see on Apple devices. Normally, I'm not somebody desperately trying to make Home Assistant look like an iPhone, but these actually look pretty good. Installation is again through HACS. In this case, I added it as a custom dashboard repository. Installed it, reloaded Home Assistant page, and after that the new cards were available in the dashboard editor. There are currently 3 I wanted to try: Calendar, To Do, and also Battery. For the Calendar widget, you simply select the calendar you want to use, or leave it at a default. I am leaving most of the settings default here. You can change the size, and there are additional advanced settings if you really want to start tweaking. And we'll come back to that particular danger in a moment. Next is To Do widget. Here I selected one of my actual Home Assistant to-do lists. Change the size, play a little with colors, and that's basically all I needed to do. And finally, there is a battery card. For this one, I added 3 devices just to see how it behaves with different battery levels. A Pixel 7, my Pixel 9, and also iPhone. And this is the result. I have to say, I think these look really nice. But what I like more is that they are not just pretty cards sitting there displaying information. You can actually use them. I can see my shopping list and mark something as completed directly from the widget. Home Assistant updates the list, the completed items disappear, and done. Click on one of the batteries and I get the normal Home Assistant information, including the history graph. And clicking an event takes me into the calendar directly. So there is actual functionality behind the pretty interface. The basic setup is really easy, and I personally like these for calendars, to-do lists, and also battery information. So I'm leaving this one installed as well. Which means, yes, another star. If you install Cupertino widget, like how they look and keep using them, please take the extra few seconds and start the repository. And if the developer gives you an option to buy them a coffee, and this ends up becoming a permanent part of your dashboard, that's even better. Nobody's forcing you to do either, but somebody built this, maintains it, and gave it to us for free. A star is pretty cheap, thank you. And here is mine. And now we can come to the integration that actually started this whole video. Annuals. And this is Annuals. This is the integration Andreas emailed me about. And actually the reason I started looking through HACS again in the first place. When I first opened the repository, I thought I understood it immediately. Birthdays, anniversaries, maybe a few other dates you want Home Assistant to remember every year. Useful, but pretty simple, and I was wrong. There is a quite bit more here. Installation itself is easy because Annuals is already available directly through HACS. Search for it, install it, and Home Assistant will give you a repair notification allowing you to restart and complete the installation procedure. After the restart, go to Integrations and add Annuals there as a normal integration. During the initial setup, it already creates several default types of annual events. And from there, you can start adding your own. For testing, I started with the obvious ones. I added birthdays for my 2 children, daughters. But an annual event doesn't have to be birthday or anniversary. It can really be any data that matters to you and that you want Home Assistant to remember every year. So I also added a Memorial Day, the day my mother passed away. And from there you can build whatever collection of annual dates actually makes sense to you. But this was also the point where I realized Annuals was much more extensive than I originally thought. There are additional settings for managing your annual events. You can import events, you can import from vCard files with a simple drag and drop interface, you can also import holidays. For example, I selected Croatia, English as a language, and I can bring Croatian holidays directly into the Annuals instead of manually creating every one of them by hand, some every year. There are also options to import and export holiday translations, remove events, and quite a few other settings. No, I'm not going through every single option here. Not because they aren't useful, but because at some point this stops being a HACS roundup and becomes a 40-minute annual tutorial. And that's not what we are doing today. There was, however, one more thing I definitely wanted to try. The reminder blueprint Andreas provides in the repository. Because having Home Assistant know when somebody's birthday is, It's very nice. Having Home Assistant remind me before I've forgotten about it. That's considerably more useful. The repository provides a ready-made blueprint, so I imported it into Home Assistant and created an automation from it. I selected birthdays and the Memorial Day I wanted to monitor, added also my to-do list, and selected my phone as a notification device. And now we are getting to the part I actually care about. Annuals isn't just storing dates somewhere. Home Assistant can do something with them. It can remind me. It can push something onto to-do list. And because these events now exist inside Home Assistant, I'm obviously not limited to this particular blueprint. I can build my own automations around them. Notifications, dashboards, announcements, lights, whatever makes sense. Andreas, I have to thank you for two things. First, for building annuals. And second, for sending me that email and reminding me that I hadn't made one of these HACS videos in far too long. And since I've been annoying everybody about GitHub stars through this entire video, yeah, I can hardly skip the integration that started it all. If annuals looks useful to you, install it and try it. And if you decide to keep it, give Andreas a star. If you really like it and there is an option to buy him a coffee, buy him a coffee as well. But if you are using something somebody built in their spare time and gave it to you for free, surely we can manage just that one click. Andreas, there's mine. And that's it. 4 HACS projects this time. And I think I actually prefer doing videos this way. Instead of trying to find 15 or 20 things just so I can put a big number in the title, I'd rather install them, use them, and then show you 4 that I found interesting enough to keep around. Today we had UniFi Device Card, giving me a much nicer view of my network hardware, DHCP Monitor quietly telling me that something appeared on my network, and that I apparently need to investigate. Then we have a Cupertino widget making my dashboard look suspiciously Apple-like, and annuals making sure Home Assistant remembers important dates even when I don't. 4 completely different projects, 4 different developers giving us something we can install and use for free. And yes, I know a GitHub star doesn't pay the electricity bill, but developers notice them. It tells them somebody is actually using what they built, and it helps other people discover the projects as well. If you discover something interesting, integration, card, dashboard component, whatever, leave it in the comments below. And if you're a developer and you've built something you think I should see, send it to me. I can't promise everything will make it into a video. Some things simply won't fit my setup, and some I may install and decide aren't for me. But I absolutely want to see what's been built. All 4 repositories from today's videos are linked in the video description below. And before you leave, star the repositories. Okay. And I hope that you did enjoy this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That's a star for my YouTube channel. And also check that you are subscribed. And as always, I must say thanks to all those wonderful people that are supporting me and that have become YouTube channel members. Thank you all for all of your support. But let's not forget each and every one of you who has watched, shared, liked or commented on my videos. Thank you. If you too want to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button down below and becoming a YouTube channel member for only €2 or $2 per month. Or you can go to my merchandise store and grab something there. Last but not least, you can always send me super thanks, and I will be super thankful for that. I'll be seeing you next time. Until then, bye bye and have fun.